This is Newsfeed AM. I'm Michelle Craig. Thanks for staying with us this Tuesday. Police say they've identified 3 people of interest in the murder of Madlaga Commission witness Marius van der Merwe. National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola says one of the suspected getaway vehicles was found in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg. The DA has one of the parties that has strongly condemned his murder. In fact, we're joined now by DA MP and ad hoc committee member Advocate Glynnis Breytenbach for more on what is, Glynnis, an incredibly shocking and sad story of someone who very clearly wanted to set the record straight. He wanted to tell the truth about not only others, the involvement of others in particular moments in EMPD, but his own involvement. His testimony implicated even himself.
Good morning. Yes, that's true, and it is. It's terribly sad. It's a huge tragedy that that whistleblowers, Mr. van der Merwe being the latest amongst them, are murdered in this country, assassinated for doing the right thing. It's an indication of where we're at as a country, and it's the mafia state starting to feel the shoe pinch, and of course this is meant as a threat and a warning to anybody else who wants to step up and do the right thing, often of necessity implicating not only others but themselves. It's a difficult choice to make, it's a difficult decision to take, and of course Mr. van der Merwe and others, we think of other whistleblowers who have been assassinated, Babita Diakaran, have children. It's a tough decision to make. Do you do the right thing? Or do you keep quiet and protect your family? They chose to do the right thing, for which I hugely admire them and applaud them. Mr. van der Merwe was involved in also, I think, cleaning out a plastic city in Boksburg. That suggested that may have had something to do with his assassination. But whatever the reason, people should not be mowed down, and certainly not mowed down in front of their families. So South Africans see this happening. It will make them think twice about coming forward to tell the truth, to give the evidence that we so desperately need to end this mafia state. And so it makes the job more and more difficult. And you must applaud the bravery of the whistleblowers who step up and take the risk, well knowing what the consequences might be.
I mean, I just wonder whether it's right for us to say we must applaud the whistleblowers in a context where the price is so incredibly high, Glynnis. We clearly cannot protect our whistleblowers.
The price is. I'm sorry, finish?
No, go ahead.
The price is incredibly high. The whistleblowers that have been assassinated have paid the ultimate price, of course.
Yeah.
But the price for a free and just South Africa is higher, and so for that reason, I applaud their courage and their choices to do the right thing, even in the face of what they know is a very serious possible consequence of doing that right thing. The only way for us to wrest South Africa from the grip of the endemic corruption that we now face is for South Africans to take a stand, and that is going to place a lot of people at risk. It's a thought process that everyone will have to go through and weigh it up. And is it worth the risk? And for some people it may not be, and you can't condemn them for that. And for some people it clearly was, and for that reason I applaud what I regard as immense bravery.
Yeah. I mean, should we be considering, obviously both the ad hoc committee process and the Madlaga Commission process are of incredible public interest, and given the state of our country, people have a right to sit through those that evidence alongside ad hoc committee members and the Madlaga Commission chairperson and his co-commissioners. But is it a discussion we should be having now, and you are on that ad hoc committee, to have these hearings entirely behind closed doors?
Well, I don't think that will solve the problem. We've seen in the past, not only in this country, but internationally, that inevitably the identity of witnesses leaks out. There's always a weak link somewhere, and that weak link is exploited. South Africa is in the grip of serious criminal activity, serious corruption. We have to stop it. We cannot move forward in this country without stopping the corruption. And it affects every aspect of every South African's life. So we have to do it. It is a tough, long, arduous job that has to be done. Holding the hearings entirely behind closed doors, I don't believe will protect the witnesses. It may make it more difficult to find out who they are. But in any corruption matter, there are only a handful of people who have access to the kind of information that is required to end the corruption. So it doesn't take a genius to work out who the witnesses are.
Sure.
Should we be better at protecting our witnesses? Absolutely. Should we be better at whistleblower protection? Should we be better at witness protection? We absolutely should. We've had a witness protection program for 30 odd years now. While the program itself has not been unsuccessful, it certainly isn't a resoundingly successful program in that it has its own inherent difficulties. And of course, successful witness protection requires huge amounts of money. So that's a process that is in reconsideration. I know the Department of Justice is revisiting the issue, in my view, not quickly enough. We've heard talk about this bill for many months now, and we've seen nothing. As a result, the DA has started working on its own private members bill in this regard to try and get the process kick-started. But it's not an easy solution. I'm not suggesting that there's an easy solution. There isn't. Do we need to be more proactive? Yes. Do we need more urgency? Most certainly. But even with the best witness protection machinery in the world, it remains very difficult to protect whistleblowers and witnesses.
I mean, that's mind-blowing, isn't it? Because it means then that the mafia apparatus of the state is functioning better than the state itself.
Well, currently that is the case.
The Justice Minister tells us that Marius van der Merwe was offered witness protection, that he declined witness protection because he owned a security company. Is that perhaps one step we can take, that witness protection is a non-negotiable if you're going to testify before a commission like Madlaga or before the ad hoc committee?
Well, to make it a non-negotiable is very difficult because, as again, Mr. van der Merwe had a wife, he had children, he has other relatives, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And my condolences go to all of those people, sincerely so. But witness protection in the truest sense of the word, in the most effective scenario thereof, affects your entire family.
And
you understand that it's not something you take for yourself. You take it on behalf of your entire family, and their entire life is changed irrevocably. It's not an easy decision.
So how do we move forward, Glynnis? You said at the beginning of our discussion that it will no doubt have an impact on the willingness of other people to come forward. As we said, it is a massive price to pay to come forward and to do the right thing, let's call it that. But it's going to be a deterrent. It most certainly will be.
Well, there's no doubt that it will be a deterrent, and quite understandably, it will make people hesitant to come forward and give evidence. And nobody on this earth can promise them 100% foolproof protection. It's not possible. That's a promise that can't be made. Everybody can do their absolute best. That doesn't mean that it will be successful. We can do everything we can do. And still, because people are involved, because there's a chain of humans involved, there's always going to be a weak link. And as we know, the mafia state, the corrupt amongst us, have access to vast amounts of money and can tempt, people in need. And we've seen this happen many times. So So there's no foolproof promise of protection. You can promise protection, you can do your best.
Yeah.
But it's not an undertaking that I would ever be prepared to give. That if you came onto the program, I would guarantee your safety. That I would never be, that's an undertaking I could never give. So it remains a decision for the individual.
Yeah.
And you have to weigh up. Is your future and so important that you cannot give this evidence, that you cannot try and assist in moving the country forward, then you must make that decision, and nobody would have the right to hold that against you. If you take the decision to give evidence, then that's very, very courageous, should be applauded, but you do it well knowing what the risks are.
Sure. The President saying that the Madlaga Commission, this is a quote from an address he gave to COSATU over the weekend, the Madlaga Commission must intensify its focus on witness protection. I mean, these are easy platitudes, aren't they, Glynnis? Because what does that mean? That we must now focus our attention on witness protection, especially when there is clearly an overlap between the state, the official apparatus, and this mafia state that we've been discussing.
Well, the people that you are setting to protect them are the people that have been infiltrated. So there's already a huge gaping hole there that you could drive, a wagon of horses through. So it's really not easy. South Africa, the witness protection program offered by the National Prosecuting Authority and in conjunction with the police certainly doesn't have the resources to do, the state-of-the-art kind of witness protection that you see in American movies. We can't do that. And it doesn't matter who says. The president can say it, the commissioner of police can say, anybody can say, we're going to protect the witnesses. And they can do their very best. And in some instances, they may succeed. But it's definitely not an undertaking that I personally, as a prosecutor, would ever have been prepared to give, that I guarantee that nothing will happen to you. Because it's not a promise you can make.
It's absolutely chilling. Marius van der Merwe testifying at the Madlaga Commission just some weeks ago on Friday, gunned down in full view of his wife and his 2 young children. Dear MP Glynnis Breytenbach, thanks for your time. Advocate Breytenbach is also a member of the Ad Hoc Committee, which is also looking into criminal infiltration in the justice system, as is the Madlaga Commission of Inquiry.